Motif set number 7, Libby. This set is named after my mom, and there's a lot of things that remind me of her in this set. So we might just have to talk about her a little bit. It was kind of fun to draw these up and group them all together as a set and name it after my mom. Her name was Elizabeth, but my cousins always called her Aunt Libby, and so we named it Libby after her. Motif number 91 is the blackberries. And these are just two very separate, different blackberries done by two different people. This one actually, the little tops, the green tops of the berries were left off, but it looks okay. So these are little satin stitches here. There's seed stitch done with the little crossing seed stitch on here. And this one has cross hatching, and then across each intersection where the threads intersect is a French knot done across that X. These leaves are just attached with the vein down the middle and the stitching to do there. They're very loose along the edges. The next one is the zinnia, and I only have the one that's on the purse. And so I wanted to show you, though, it's a very cute motif. And all of the edges of the flower are loose. I put the dark pink down first, and I just did a straight stitch in each V that was cut out along the edge. I did the same with the orange row and then the pink row. And then this just has a little cluster of beads in the middle. The veins of the leaves were stitched first, and then they were appliqued from the outside clear into the center vein with one strand of embroidery floss. And that kind of makes the edge of the leaf a little bit raggedy, which is kind of how zinnia leaves look by the end of summer. The next one is the paisley, and I love the high contrast in this one, in this particular paisley. Very simple applique, nice bright colors, and then this French knot edging around the outside. I don't have the fox. I couldn't locate one, but we're just going to skip him. Definitely a red fox would be what I would do. Kind of a rust color. This next one is the pansies, and I remember singing a song when I was a little girl of little purple pansies filled with yellow gold. And so pansies always remind me of my mom singing that song with me. This is done very simply. I love the little radiating yellow coming out from the middle. That's just how pansies look. And then this stitch right here is called the overcast stitch, and it's a great way to get some nice texture in your stems. Right next to the overcast stitch, there's an outline stitch. It's kind of a little bit hard to see, but it adds some different color. I also don't have the cone flowers. I do have the violets, and I like how there's outline stitch around the edge on top of the purple done with pink thread. We always had, my mom always grew a violet, and she always had it in the north window. She said that's where they grew best. These next four all remind me of story time. My mother read stories to me very avidly when I was little, and I would take a nap, and then whenever I woke up from the nap, she would sit me on her lap in a little white rocking chair, and we would read stories. So this one is the billy goat. Satin stitches right up here on the tail. His little chin hairs there, his little beard, are just little straight stitches also. Here's this little piggy. I'm sure that's a little verse that all of us remember. And this one is very simple. You just have to layer it. So use your template and your dry erase marker to make sure that you get everything in its place. And, you know, the hoofs would go on first, and then his legs, then his pants, then this arm, then his head, then the vest, then the arm. You can see how you just have to layer in order. The next one is the cow over the moon. And This I think is so cute. I love how the edge of the moon has just a nice big straight outline stitch around it, and that makes it really framed and outlined well. Next one is the little red hen, and her apron is very cute with little French knots, and then I like how the wing is accentuated by doing a chain stitch around it. Little straight stitches here and on his beak, or her beak, I should say. This next one is such a cute color. I love the orange basket with these colors of flowers, and I just think it's nice and bright and a little bit out of the box. Here's some little straight stitches or arrowhead stitches, star stitches across some centers, and French knots. And the plaid in the basket means that you don't have to do any line work or anything to make it look like a basket. This next one is the Rag Doll, or Raggedy Ann. And I didn't have a Raggedy Ann doll, but my sister did. And so I played with hers when she wasn't watching. And this one was actually really fun to just do little straight stitches, kind of willy-nilly, go in all directions up here for her hair. And I like her little flower there on her apron and her striped socks. Of course, she has to have red and white striped socks. I'm also missing a couple of others that we skipped over, the kitten and the puppy. These are my sister's motifs, and we didn't have animals when we were young very much. We always had outside animals, but not inside. And we had horses and cows and that kind of stuff. But so anyway, I think that she skipped the kitten and the puppy because we just didn't have those. Set number 7.